Just waiting for it to pop up. Here we are. Sorry about that, guys. The broadcasting system on PlayStation is a little bit finicky today. But, again...
Mm.
Oh! Sorry! Again, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone that is watching the Limitless DxT coverage, Season 2, Round 6, Tuesday night racing of the Hungarian Grand Prix. And it looks like during qualifying, we are in the rain. I am Justin. I am here with Steve. He was actually one of our guests on the Pointless Point podcast. We put that video out on YouTube and Spotify and on what was it, Apple, I think it was like the Apple podcasting app, about 4 days ago, where we discussed about the new teams coming to Formula One. But I am here with Steve. Steve, welcome back to the channel.
It's good to be here. Was already looking forward to this one, but it looks like we've got an extremely wet qualifying. So that should shake things up a bit. Yeah, really looking forward to this one.
Oh, same. Especially here in Hungarian Grand Prix, it actually kind of reflects the real life event actually, because if you guys remember, if you ever watched it, at the beginning it was raining, and then it kind of cooled down a little bit later on in the race. And of course, that is when Valtteri Bottas came in on the inside um, of, I believe, Lando Norris, and took out a bunch of people, including himself. Hopefully nothing like that happens today, but anything can happen with the Limitless DxT coverage. Um, we actually have a few people already out, and looks like Freedom is going to be the first one to complete his outlap if he doesn't spin out or get overtaken here. I wonder what I'm gonna be honest, I don't like Jeff in this game, so I wonder how he's gonna mess up some of these drivers today, because he always messes up these drivers.
Jeff, Jeff always comes in at the wrong moment just to annoy you, and I don't think he's 100% to be trusted. But for qualifying, at the moment, you probably want to have 5 or 6 laps of fuel worth in your car. Put on those inters, get everybody out, start drying that track. The times will be slow to begin with, but as we start to dry that track and as those inters come into their own, those times will start tumbling down. But you can't go out and just do one lap. You've got to keep going over and over, get your braking points, get your turning in points, and learn this track in the wet. I think what we will see is who's been practicing in the wet and who's not.
Definitely, and I was actually in the practice session that we have normally earlier before the actual streaming begins, just so these drivers can get a little practice, and no one has anticipated a wet setup here. And it looks like Rabbi, actually, I got that mixed up. Rabbi is going to be the first one to actually finish his outlap, and he's going to be one of the first people to finish his qualifying lap, and hopefully he does well, especially with them trying to improvise with the rain. It's going to be very tough. But let's look at the Hungarian track. Actually, it's a bit of a weird one today with. Well, actually, the Hungarian Grand Prix, the track is actually called Hungaroring. I believe I pronounced that correctly, but if I have not, please, anyone in the chat, please let me know. But this is 4.381 kilometers long, with 14 turns, 8 rights, 6 lefts, and 2 DRS zones. One off of the final turn 14, all the way to that long straight past the pits to turn 1, and also turn 1 to 2 actually, which I think it's a little bit of a weird DRS zone, but of course right now we won't see any DRS zones because we are in the wet weather here. And actually, Steve, what is your opinion on the Hungarian Grand Prix? Do you like it? Do you dislike it?
It's it's a very good track to drive. Very technical. Uh, Very hard on the tires at times, especially the rears, because there's a lot of traction zones. Not great for overtaking, but that's just in modern Formula One cars. You never know, next year we might see different when the new regulations come in. And definitely on the game there should be some overtakes. It depends on what the weather's going to look like for the actual race. But I do like the circuit. It's an enjoyable one to drive. It's very, as I said, it's very technical. So you have to have your wits about you on this one, and keep it within the track limits, which can sometimes be difficult to do.
Definitely, especially when it comes to the chicanes, as we are watching Freedom right now.
My
going
God.
through turns 6 to 9. But let's quickly look at the lineup here, and it looks like we do have a caution in sectors 1 and 2 and 3 here.
We've just had a DxT Cons has just retired from this session. I didn't see he's crashed, I believe, at the very last turn, just coming onto the pit straight. You'll see his Ferrari at the back.
Yeah, I just saw that. I'm gonna see if we can actually see it on Rabbi's cam, and no, it actually just got
You
out.
might
And
see it as he comes around here.
Yo-Yo
No,
has
I
been
just disappeared.
disqualified. Oh
And Richard
wow,
as well. Richard seems to be out.
Richard is out as he only sets 1 lap. Well, as you said earlier, we actually are going to see who are going to be the ones to actually have practice on this track. And as I say that, Freedom in the Ferrari sets the new fastest lap. And the thing is, with Freedom, he is a very good racer. If you guys watched Sunday Night Racing, Limitless DxT coverage of Sunday Night Racing, when we were in France, Freedom had one of the biggest leads during the race until the end where he ran out of fuel. So hopefully he's not gonna.
Ooh.
Hopefully he learns from his mistakes and not let that happen here. And do we have another
The
disqualification?
bearded David's just hit the wall at turn 2, just on the inside. I don't know if he was trying to get the way out the way of a car or not, but I believe he's going to have wing damage and will need to come back in and get that repaired. But some of these drivers are struggling at the moment, which is understandable in these conditions, but it's strange to see 3 cars out already.
Definitely. And I'm sorry guys with the continuous blocking of the notifications. I'm gonna have to see if I can quickly do that. I'm gonna do that right after this. So this will actually be the qualifying, and we will get back to you for the Grand Prix.
It's different from the rest. It's a clockwise track compared to most tracks being counterclockwise. So in real life, this is a tough one on the drivers' necks because they're not used to doing this many right-handers compared to left-handers, as they would be in other circuits. Um, and yeah, it's one of the most tiresome tracks on the circuit in real life. It really takes a lot out of these drivers, and I think it might take a lot out of some of these drivers tonight, especially if it rains in the race. I don't know what the weather looks like for the race at the moment. I did get a weather forecast update. So the race is going to be fully dry. There's only a 2% chance of rain, but a wet qualifying. So the qualifying could be really interesting. It's going to shake up the grid because of the wet, and those who might be good in the wet or can just get a good lap together might be further up than they normally are, and those other ones might be further down, as we've seen some people retiring already. So this could shake up the grid and provide some good racing for the race.
Oh, definitely. There's no doubt about that. And King's Home actually. I used to when I first joined this league, I used to call him Shom actually, but it's King's Home. And he actually makes his way up and goes up to 6th place actually, which is actually pretty good for him because I remember he was a little bit struggling with pace during the practice sessions. And I think that was King David. King David goes up to 4th in the Alpine.
That's
Possibly
a
with
really
him
good
being
lap.
in the Alpine could potentially be some recreation of Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton here, but only time will tell at this point. As Nem Vidic and also actually Nem Vidic struggling to get a good lap time here, and Yo-Yo being disqualified for blocking the pin entry. We'll have to check back with that to see if he deserves any penalty points, but as it stands right now, we actually don't entirely know just yet.
I have to say, just as you were speaking there, Tier 727, he had an off and managed to hit the wall at the exit of turn 5. So I think he just touched a right wheel onto that inside curb at turn 5. And as anyone who's driven this track will know, if you get onto that curb, it will spin you around in the circles. There's not much you can do about it. So I think we might see him coming into the pits to get some repairs done. And we haven't actually. He's staying out. But he definitely made contact with the wall. So good on him for going. But yeah, I don't know how good that car is going to be.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to wait and see if his pit crew will actually get everything sorted to give him another go. But as we were saying that Milan, Massimo, I'm gonna say Massimo, Milan Massimo in the Haas going up to 5th place, and it looks like a pretty close battle for qualifying between the Haas and the Alpines. As King David again goes up to 3rd place, passing Rabbi, who's currently in the pits. But if you look at the gap, you can definitely see like where the actual median like average lap time is, and also Freedom has just finished his outlap, and currently he still has the fastest lap. But if I was him, I would just be happy where he is right now and stay in the pits, because as you said, like you got the weather report from an insider basically, and you're saying that the rain will actually be completely dry, correct?
The race will be completely dry. Yeah, there's a 2% chance of rain, so very, very small chance. Fully expect this to be your normal dry weather race. Yeah, just qualifying that the rain's out for.
Then do you think that some of these drivers actually, with them having a good lap time here, could potentially backfire on them later on, just because they are currently on their quote-unquote wet setups? I don't know if they are or not, but if they are on their wet setups and it's going to be completely dry for the race, do you think it could backfire on them just because of their setup change and having the Parc de Farm regulations?
Usually you would say yes, but Hungary is one of those tracks where having a little more downforce isn't actually a bad thing. It's as I said at the beginning, it's quite hard to overtake around here. So having a bit more
Oh,
downforce, I don't. Oh, have you seen something?
yeah, King David goes all the way up to second place with a 127.7, and pretty close battle between him and Freedom there. I think Freedom is
Yeah,
going to be a little bit scared seeing that time, and he's probably going to try and see if he can keep that pole position, give him as much opportunity as he can. But I think King David should be fine with his second place, because I think for me, going with an even number here on the grid, you technically have the inside line coming onto turn 1. So that's going to push the ones in the odd numbers
the
wide,
other
and
Alpine's gone into
oh,
second.
H. Bosworth. Amazing stuff. Alpine 2 and 3 right now.
Maybe this is just a good luck track if you're in an Alpine.
Looks like, well, I mean, it makes sense with Fernando Alonso in the real life race. And was it
Well, it was Esteban Ocon who won the race
Esteban
in real
Ocon
life.
that won the
Yeah,
race? Yeah.
yeah. And I'm a huge Alpine fan, so that was a great day for me. I
Uh,
really enjoyed that one.
well, for me, I'm a McLaren fan, so I was pissed off with Valtteri Bottas.
I'm not surprised. Yeah. Although you got your happy day at Monza, so you were fine
That's
as well.
fair.
So
That's fair. Oh, I was super excited. If
oh,
you
I'm not
guys want to see
surprised.
how excited I was, watch the Pointless Point podcast where we actually talked about Monza. It was, believe me, Joe, and Flea at the time. Actually, it was our first ever podcast.
King David, by the way, is just taken pole with a 127.479, so he's got a tenth and a half over Freedom now. This is what I said at the beginning: get some laps under your belt, get more fuel in the car, and go round on
Oh,
these inters a few
I'm
times.
sorry. Hold on. We have a spun Williams, and I believe that is Pink. Is that Pink? No, that is not Pink. That is
As
his
DX
teammate.
Senna,
Senna completely loses his front wing.
he is
Ah.
no front wing at all. And while she said that, Freedom just went over a second faster than anybody else on the racetrack.
Oh wow, 126.3. That's gonna be tough to match here.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying. Get those inters on, put 6 or 7 laps of fuel in, and just keep going round. The times are only going to get quicker as those tyres scrub in, get heated up, and the track starts to dry out. And it's really worked for Freedom. So now it's just who else can get up there? Who else can get into the 126s? Because at the moment, nobody else is near it.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. And Bearded Dave is gone. He has crashed off of turn 11. He probably
Starting
hit
to
the
see
curb
these
here.
guys dropping.
We're gonna go on
Yep.
board here with Freedom to see if we can actually see the aftermath here. Yeah, it looks like he hit the curb and went straight into the wall. Huge upset for Bearded Dave in the Red Bull. Huge upset. Hopefully he can do better in the race, but he is still technically ahead of both of the Alfa Romeos, Mr. Basil and Liam. And I gotta be honest, me and Mr. Basil, Joe actually said it best, earlier today. Me and Mr. Basil are kind of in the same shoe size basically, where we only recently got into Formula 1 and also recently got into the game. So we're still trying to get used to it, where all of these other drivers like Freedom, Rabbi, King David, even Tim Shapop, all are experienced when it comes to the F1 game, and also former champions in their respective leagues.
I take my hat off to both of you. You and Mr. Basil, you're doing a fantastic job of commentating for somebody who's pretty new to the sport. And Mr. Basil, he might be near the bottom, but all he's got to do is just keep going at it. Just keep going. The wet weather's going to catch out even the best of drivers, like we've just seen. You've seen Bearded Dave. I know Richard. He races in our league and he's very competitive. He's out, so this could catch anyone out. So for the fact that he's still got that car on the road at the moment, I'm watching him go round, and yeah, hats off to both of you. Well done.
You're making me blush over here, Steve. You're making me blush. I have my book right now with all my notes, and I'm putting it covering half of my face right now. But it looks like Freedom is actually going into the pits, and I think he's gonna wait for it to dry up even a little more. And I think it's gonna be the same with Rabbi. But it looks like both King David and H. Bosworth are gonna try it right now. Oh, Senna! What happened to Senna? Is he? Oh, actually, sorry. I got overexcited. He retired in the pits.
I think the yellow flags is for cars slowing down on their outlap, but we're seeing now that the top 6 at the moment have just gone out on a fresh set of inters for 1 or 2 more laps. The same with Tier and Flea, they've both gone out on fresh inters. So keep an eye out on this. This is where we are. Not this lap here, but probably the one after it. That's where you're going to see the fastest lap of the day and who can get anywhere close to Freedom. Because at the moment, that is an outstanding lap he's put in.
Yeah, but right now, I think King David is going to have a huge opportunity, and probably same with Milan, because when they did those laps, their tires were about 4 or 5 laps old. But with Freedom, it was 2 laps old. And we could definitely see some sort of change here. So I'm going to stay on King David right now. Stay on King David's camera, and we'll see how he does.
I'm staying on board with H. Bosworth at the moment.
Oh, hold on. Bet. I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name. Bet? I'm not going to say the number in between because we all know those connotations. He actually goes up to 4th place in the Red Bull. Maybe he should actually give some pointers to Bearded Dave. I mean, we all know Bearded Dave is an amazing driver, but it looks like he's struggling right now. Well, actually, he's out, so hopefully he can give him some pointers during the actual race. But that's just going to be through communication at this point. But I'm looking at King David. King David currently right now is going to hold 0.3 seconds faster than his qualifying lap, so we could see him go up to 2nd place here. But let's see how he does for the rest of this lap right now. We're going to see during the change between Sector 2 and Sector 3. And it looks like he's going to have a lot of clean... Yeah, that's going to be a lot of people in front of him. So he could get a little bit of slipstream ahead of him.
He could do, yeah. King David now half a second up, so he has got a good chance of moving into 2nd, but at the moment nobody is going to come anywhere near Freedom. I saw that H. Bosworth, he's 3/10 up in Sector 1, so he's going to go around again and see what he can do. But yeah, nobody coming anywhere near Freedom. I'll be interested to see if he can go any faster. Apparently he is 0.4 seconds up on his fastest lap already, so he's looking at getting into the 125s.
Oh, King David! 126.6! Really close to Freedom's time here. And let's see how H. Bosworth does.
But watch this, there you go. Freedom with a 125.8. That is incredible.
Absolutely outstanding from Freedom. Hopefully he can be consistent during the race to keep that position up there. And I think H. Bosworth is kind of locking up his front wheels a bit. A lot more than he's anticipating. But we'll just have to see if he improves from a 5th place and potentially go up to 3rd place. But we'll see, because Rabbi is going around the final turn here. Does he improve? He does have a potential to take 2nd place, but does he? He does! 2nd place for Rabbi.
Half a tenth of a second between him and King David. That's not a lot. And Tim Shipop has just moved, yeah. His times are starting to come down. We're seeing H. Bosworth now 3/4 of a second up. He's 0.7 up on his fastest time, so he's going to move up.
Let's see how he does. He goes up to 5th. But King David is not going to be happy with his lap right here. He's just probably going to go into the pits and just save his tires.
Yeah. I don't think there's anybody else out there. Oh, the pink Spartan, he might move up a little bit. He's moved up 1 position ahead of Milan.
Pretty close here.
Tier might overtake DxT Senna here, and I think he did, I'm not sure, but What a superb job by Freedom there. He was in a
Amazing
league of
stuff
his
from
own.
him. He was.
Yeah.
He timed it absolutely perfectly. And I'm gonna be honest. I think I fixed the actual problem with the whole notifications coming up. So we will stay on this stream, but as it stands right now, when we're going to the Hungarian Grand Prix, Freedom takes first place with a 125.8. He has pole position. Tim Shapop in second, Rabbi in third, King David in fourth, H. Bosworth in fifth, Bet in sixth, seventh is the Pink Spartan, eighth is Milan, ninth is Joe or King's Home, 10 is Tier, 11 is DxT Senna, 11th no, well, 10 is Tier, 11th is DxT Senna, 12th is Flea, 13th is Nemvidich, 14th is Mr. Basil, 15th is Tommy, 16th is Richard, 17th is Bearded Dave, who unfortunately got a DNF. Liam with 18th, DxT Cons, 19th, and Yo-Yo with 20, and we will see you in a few seconds at the starting grid of this Hungarian Grand Prix. I'm actually very excited, mate. I got my bowl of snacks. I got a few cheese puffs. I got some corn chips. I got some pretzels, and I am ready.
I'm the same. I've got some. Well, you say candy. I've got some candy next to me. I've got something to drink. I'm good to go. Crazy qualifying session with how far ahead Freedom was, but you were right about that. I don't think it is actually. It's Tim Shapop and Aston Martin now in second place. I think he gets the right hand side of the grid, so he's going to have the inside down to turn one. I think be an
This
interesting one, man.
this is gonna be a huge, huge race today. I am very excited, and it looks like these drivers are gonna have a free reign of tire choice as the weather has changed. And
So
now, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I believe there's two strategies to this one. There is a one stop. You can either do the mediums to the hards, or if you want the softs to the hards. But I believe most people will run the two stops. So you would do soft, medium, medium, or if you can push it, soft, medium, soft. So might be the fact that it was a wet qualifying means that what tires people start on will probably change up and down the grid. I don't think we'll see everybody starting on the same tires, which will bring strategy into this one.
Definitely. And when it came to the French Grand Prix, Freedom actually had an amazing, amazing pit strategy that made him go so far up on it. And right now
He's
we are
starting
going to
on
be starting.
hards.
Freedom starting on
Freedom
the
starting on the
hards.
hards. Yeah, that's crazy to
Well,
me.
I mean, he does have to. It's actually, if you look at it, it's a whole mixture of
Yeah.
tire strategies here. We have Freedom first place on the hards. Then we have four mediums, and then one soft, a medium, a soft, a medium, a soft, and then another medium, a low pattern there, and then another hard. It's all over the place at this point. Everyone is trying different things, and I think with this, even though sorry, even though it's the Hungarian Grand Prix and it's pretty difficult to overtake, we could potentially see a lot of overtakes, especially off of turn one. And as we see it right now, the predicted pitch stop strategy. Thank you, Amazon, for showing us that it was a two different strategies. One was a medium and a hard, and then the other one was a soft medium medium. So it was pretty close, but I'm pretty sure these drivers can definitely do a soft hard or possibly a soft medium.
A soft hard could definitely work. There's probably a good chance that a safety car might come out in this race, and if it does, then that could pretty much cement you down to a soft to hard. I have to say the hards are not a great tyre around here. They're not fast at all. So that's what's really surprised me about Freedom, especially starting in first. If he can get down to turn two and probably up towards turn four in first place, then he's got a good chance of keeping it. But I'll be interested to see what Tim Shapop can do off the start, and the same with Rabbi as well, or Rabbi, see what he can do off the start. Because if they get ahead of Freedom, Freedom will end up having a train behind him, and he may struggle to keep up with those in front. I know he was fast in qualifying, but that's going to be really difficult on those hard tyres. So he's definitely going for a one stop. The rest of them may do one or two, but I just don't. I understand going on the hards if you're DxT cons or if you're Flea, but I don't understand it for Freedom, I'm afraid.
Well, actually, I do kind of understand it a little bit because, as you were saying earlier, potentially, well, with the Hungarian Grand Prix, I did just say that we could see a lot of overtakes, but this track is severely difficult to overtake, and if someone's going to try it on the inside, especially when it comes to turn 4, turn 3, and turn 2, they're going to struggle a bit and probably not going to go so aggressive at the beginning. So Freedom, going on the hards, trying to go full-on defense, could be the best outcome here, but we are about to start this Hungarian Grand Prix as all of the drivers are lining up we have all the engines revving up. I don't see the lights right now. For some reason, it's not showing me.
I don't have lights either.
A little bit anticipating, but I hope you guys enjoy this race. We are excited in the commentary booth. They might be waiting for a few people to actually start loading in. And if you guys want, make sure you leave a like, subscribe. There's the lights.
Here we
One
go.
light, two, three, four, and five. The engines are revving. The crowd is roaring. And away we are for the Hungarian Grand Prix. An amazing start for Freedom. Oh!
Oh!
Mr. Basil automatically is out. That could be a safety car here. It's a
Freedom up at
virtual
the top.
safety car.
It's a virtual safety car. Flea with a penalty as well. I was worried about Freedom getting a good start, but he did actually get a very good start. Tim
Oh, it's a
Shapop
full
seemed to
safety
bog
car.
down a little.
It's a full
Changed to
safety
full
car
safety.
now. Wow.
So no, we shouldn't see anybody pitting that doesn't have damage with a safety car this early. Some tracks you may pit, but I don't see anybody pitting on this one. Freedom had a great start. He needs to be able to keep these tires warm under the safety car, but he's actually on those hards in a really good position now. Before I was concerned more about the start and the run down to turn 4. I have to say it's a crying shame for Mr. Basil. I was looking forward to seeing what he could do in this race. I know he's new to Formula 1, so I wanted to see what he was like. So I didn't actually see what the contact was. I saw a Haas going across the track, but I didn't see Mr. Basil, I'm afraid.
It looks like Mr. Basil got hit on his rear left, and he got spun right off at the beginning. He probably had a bad startup, but we'll have to check back with him. I'm gonna see if I can contact him real quick to see exactly what happened, and potentially if he wants, Mr. Basil, if you are watching this, say something in the comments about either what happened, and if you want to join us in the commentators box, we can always have room for one more, mate. And it could possibly give you a new opportunity in this league and potentially other leagues. But we'll just have to wait for you. But quite an interesting start, actually. Very interesting start.
It is. Yeah, it was interesting. I was expecting the leaders to be the ones bringing out safety cars, not the people at the back of the grid. But yeah, I don't know about you, but King David is showing us a lap down at the moment, and I don't believe he is. So I think there's something wrong with that timing screen. But we've got quite a lot of cars in the pits, so I don't know how many people were actually damaged on lap 1.
It looks like
I
about
only
6.
Yeah, definitely have to
Interesting.
go back and have a look at that one to see what happened there. But at least the leaders kept themselves out of trouble. So now, once this safety car comes in, they can hopefully settle down and get into a rhythm, and we can hopefully see some good racing. Tim Shapop, if he's on an alternate strategy to Freedom, he's going to really need to get his foot down early and try his hardest to get past Freedom.
Yeah, he will have to pull something out. And then Vidic is going down the pecking order. Has he? Looks like he spun, actually. Has he spun? Because
I'm trying to.
he was about 14th when he came out of the pits, and now he's 17th.
Yeah, I think he must have. Yeah, I think he's made contact with someone because he has a penalty as well. So yeah, that's a strange one spinning. I mean, I know the tires won't be warmed up, but they're not going very fast. So I'm surprised if he managed to spin that. But he's got plenty of laps ahead of him. He should have over 30 laps ahead of him to get some positions made back up.
Definitely, well, anything can happen in this race at this point, and this is going to actually help these drivers that are actually on the softs right now, just
Mhm.
because with this safety car coming, doing another lap of safety car, is going to preserve that tire wear, and I think it might help Freedom as well, going with the softs one stop, I believe. I think that's probably what's going through his head right now. But
Yeah, I think most people might be able to change this to a one stop. You'll either do the mediums to hards, or you'll do the softs to hards. And if you started on the hard, which the only one that's still out that started on the hard is Freedom, he has the choice to either go long, put on the softs at the end, or keep those tires fresh, go onto a set of mediums that will be fresh at the end and go there. So he's got a choice. I think most other people will go from where they are onto the hards. I don't see this being a two stop for too many people unless they've got damage.
well, actually, Liam actually just came out of the pits with the hards, and he was on the mediums before, so he's probably gonna follow what Freedom is doing here, going on the hards at the beginning.
I didn't see if he had damage or not. but if he's coming for those hards, I don't see those hards making it to the end. I think you're probably getting about 20 to 22 or 23 laps maximum on those hards. So he's going to have to stop again, which, yeah, I'm not. I have to say I don't fully understand that unless he had damage and went into the pits to repair it.
Wait a minute, did Tim Shapop actually go into the pits just now? Because did he spin
Uh,
as well? Because he's in sixth. I thought he was in
he
second.
he was in second. He must have spun because he's not
Huh.
stopped.
That's
That,
very... Oh! I see it! He has no front wing! And the safety car is in this lap!
oh no, that's ruined Tim Shapop's race. You're right. He doesn't have a front wing at all. I don't know what's happened there. I wish I'd seen that. I don't know if he's dropped on his own or if he's hit the back of Bet or well, it would have been the back of Freedom. I really don't know, but that's ruined his entire race because he's going to come in now and he's going to be 30 to 40 seconds off of 19th place Liam when he comes out those pits. But
Oh, that's gonna
let's watch
be...
this restart from Freedom.
Oh, hold on. Tim, that was very, very close there, buddy. Oh, and away we are. Safety car is in, and away we are for the Hungarian Grand Prix after the restart. And Barry J. Appleton, thank you for watching it, and thank you for letting me know. We did see it, but there was a little bit more important things happening with Nem Vidic getting a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pits. And it looks like Rabbi is gonna eye down that rear wing, and King David is going on the inside of turn 2,
Oh!
but he doesn't give the space. Rabbi does not give the space, but King David recovers perfectly to stay within that top 5 position. Oh, Yo-Yo has retired. And Nem Vidic.
They must have come together. I could see them now. The two cars lying at the exit of turn 3. They've obviously come together and both hit the wall. But yeah, they're both out. So both
Well, we're
those
gonna
cars
be...
are lying in the middle of the track right now. I would have expected a safety car.
Yeah, you would. And is that two of the Mercedes? That's both of the Mercedes.
Mhm.
Well, it looks
Both of
like
the
no
Mercedes
Lewis
coming
Hamilton.
together.
Looks like no Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, and it is a safety car.
Yeah, I fully expected that safety car to come out. So actually, this does help Tim Shapop because he's 16 seconds behind at the moment, but now he'll be able to catch up with the rest of the grid. Um, we're about to start lap 5, and we've only really had about a lap and a bit, maybe, of racing. So hopefully we can see a little more than that. It was a
Well,
strange restart by Freedom. He went very late, which gave Rabbi the jump on the Alpine, and meant there was 2 Alpines in the Haas going 3 abreast into turn 1. And as you said, King David, he got caught out turn 2 trying to go down the inside. I don't actually know if there was enough room for King David to try and make that move from what I could see. So I don't know, I put that down as a racing incident in my eyes because I think he went for a gap that may not have existed and he came off the worst.
well, actually, from what I saw, Rabbi coming onto turn 2, broke a little bit late, not late enough to hit the rear wing of Freedom, but late enough to go a little bit wide off of turn 2, and that gave King David the opportunity on the inside. But I think Rabbi was closing the gap when he was about half of his car being covered on the inside line. But we're gonna have to see with the stewards after this if it turns into either a racing incident or if it turns into some penalty points. And also, if you can see right here, actually, for you, Steve, this spot right here, this camera angle is actually a pretty good spot for those photographers on the sidelines here. So potentially we could go back with them and see if we can get some pictures from them. Probably even buy some. Have them hung up on our
Yeah,
wall.
yeah, definitely, some mementos.
They're
It'd be really
mementos.
good to have. Yeah. Um, yeah, just waiting for this safety car to go in.
I think the safety car is going to come in right now, actually.
Are the lights
We're going to
off,
have to
are
wait
they?
and see. Oh, Rabbi. Freedom actually broke a little bit early there. And Rabbi
No,
broke as well.
safety
And
car's
Paige
staying out.
Bosworth. Wait, is the safety car staying out?
Yeah, the lights are still on, yeah.
That's so
So the
odd,
light,
because everyone is close. Well, we're going to have
the,
another lap of safety cars, so a one-stop strategy could be here for not even just the hards, but also the mediums.
yeah, those mediums they're getting closer. If there's another safety car, they're getting closer to making a yellow and red work. Depends on how hard you've been making
Oh,
them work through it, trying to warm them up.
Liam would try to get into the pits, and he spun and broke his front wing. He still has a
It's
whole
not,
other lap of safety cars here, so he should be fine. Just hopefully he doesn't speed into the pits.
no, he made it into the pits fine, so he's going to get a nose change. He is going to be quite far behind, so Oh, 5 second penalty for Tim Shapop for a collision with DxT Cons. So they've touched under the safety car. They should both get a 5 second penalty. But yeah, Liam, if the safety car comes in this lap, he's going to be a long way behind Tim Shapop in 16th. And that's going to be a long, lonely race for him if he's getting some blue flags. I'll have to see when the safety car comes in.
Well, hopefully, what comes up on Liam's HUD, it just says to catch up with the safety car queue instead of staying within the delta. Because if it says the delta, he's going to be so far behind, and his race will basically be over.
I
But
can hear him. He's giving it the beans. He's definitely got a catch safety car on that one because he's not taking it easy at all. But he's 30 seconds behind just now, and the leaders are. They've still got a little bit to go, so he might be able to close some of that gap down.
if nothing happens, he'll be able to catch up, definitely, especially with those softs. But actually, let's look at the tire situations between these drivers, and it looks like we have a lot more mediums on the field now instead of softs. Looks like a lot of people are going with the medium change, where with Liam actually go with a hard and then the softs now, and the safety car is in this lap. Hopefully Liam can quickly catch up. Does he make it? Looks like he does actually.
He's about 4 seconds behind.
Tier
Yeah.
is falling down the grid and he has spun.
Oh, he has. He's spun. He hasn't warmed up his tires enough. At the front, Freedom got another good start. Robbie is just still on his tail. H. Bosworth fell off a little bit. Bet is going to come through. He's on the soft tire, so he really needs to get a move on. But Freedom, he didn't have much opportunity. That safety car came in very late. But he's under a lot of pressure from Robbie at the moment.
Oh, Richard and DxT Senna having a pretty good battle in turn 2. Richard gets the job done, and amazing stuff from the McLaren against the Williams.
Watch DxT Senna try and make a move here. No, he's tucked it back in just in case.
We're going to get back to the grid, and Rabbi is not staying. He's going to stay as close to that rear wing as possible of Freedom.
Oof.
He's getting very close now, and he's actually getting a pretty good gap to H. Bosworth, actually.
Yeah, H. Bosworth was, I think, caught sleeping a little bit at the start of the safety car, so he fell off just that little bit. And Rabi, he really needs to be putting the pressure on Freedom here because they're on opposite strategies. So if he doesn't get past, Freedom's going to be coming through on the softer tyre at the end of this race, and he'll have much better tyres. So Rabi really needs to get a move on here, and I'm pretty sure he knows it.
Well, with it being actually dry conditions now compared to the qualifying. Oh, actually, hold on. Tim Shapop and Cons are having a pretty good battle near the back. We're going to check with that right now, actually.
They've touched about 3 or 4 times. They just touched again on the straight. They've been going at it for about 4 or 5 corners straight.
Well, here comes turn 1. They're both on the medium, so they both have equal potential here. And DxT Cons is on the inside now, but looks like Tim Shapop is going to be using a lot of his ERS now. Trying into turn 2, he's going to go a little bit wide. Does he try and do a switcheroo? No, DxT Cons keeps that position, and DxT Cons actually just gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. And oh!
Who's
I don't know
that?
if you Tim Shapop shooting on the inside as DxT Cons was going wide, and Cons was trying to get back in, and it completely clips his front tire here. It doesn't look like he got any wing damage, luckily for him, but that could have been a huge incident there, and potentially could have been another safety car. Oh, and as I say that, Joe King's Home is spinning on the track.
Yeah, that led Tim Shapop through. So Tim Shapop in the last lap or so has made up about 5 positions, and he's right on the back of Tommy in the McLaren. And there goes round the Haas of Milan. He's just spun at turn 13, so he's now facing the wrong direction. He's going to have to get that car turned around, but I think he's going to fall all the way to the back of this grid. So Tim kind of ruined his own race, and now he's having to fight for it to get back through. I don't know what will be said afterwards about himself and DxT Cons, because they did touch quite a few times. He's trying to go around the outside of turn 1 on Tommy, and it looks like he's made that one stick, and he has. In fact, Tommy has come off and hit the wall and has lost part of his wing, so they must have had a small coming together. The camera angle was poor on that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, he has damage to his right front as he's going super slow around turn 2, and that's going to give Bitter Dave, King's Home, Liam, and Tier. And Tier is battling Liam, gets the position done on those softs. Oh, and Tommy's struggling here with that front wing damage. He's gonna be near the back and potentially will have to go into the pits. But we do see a three-way battle for third, as Bet is kind of in an Alpine sandwich at this point. It's going to be tough for him to see if he can get anything, but right now he will both Bet and King David will both have DRS as they go through the detection zone, and same goes with Rabbi. We're going to check with Rabbi and Freedom real quick, because this could be huge for the Haas. He does have DRS, that wing is open. None of them is using ERS at this point. Rabbi's probably waiting for the second DRS, and Bet overtakes H. Bosworth getting out of that sandwich, but I think that's going to give H. Bosworth the opportunity on the second DRS zone. Oh, actually it doesn't. Yeah, so there's only one DRS detection here on this track. Oh,
Yeah, if
big
you
battle.
haven't done the...
Pink, Spartan, and Richard coming down turn 2. Richard does the job on the outside, squeezing that Williams. Now Richard has overtaken 2 Williams at this point, and Tommy has retired into the pits after that front wing damage.
Did we
Oh,
just
and
go?
King
Yeah,
David!
we just saw somebody spinning. Yeah, King David in the Alpine. He was having such a good race as well. He was sitting up near the top and he was keeping his nose clean, but unfortunately he's got damage now, so he's going to have to come in the pits and change that. He should be able to go onto the hard tyres and get it to the end if he looks after them well enough, but unfortunately he's going to fall right down the grid. And with Richard, that was a great move around the outside. Richard, I think, started around about 8th or 9th, I can't remember, but
I'm going
up
to
to
check
4th
right
now.
now.
And he's
Richard
away
has
to
actually
chase down a
started
bit.
16th. Richard
Oh,
has
he started
started
16th.
16th.
Oh, he crashed in qualifying, didn't he? He retired. So, yeah,
Yeah.
16th up to 4th, and he is now catching Bet, who's on the soft tyres, and I think Bet might be struggling slightly on those soft
Oh,
tyres, and those
hold on.
mediums will
We're
be a
going to
lot
go to the
better.
front of the grid here as Freedom is going to try and defend against Rabbi, who goes on the outside of turn 1. He's going to have DRS again. Does Freedom defend? Let's see, Freedom is defending pretty well, closing the gap on Rabbi. Rabbi's going to try and go around the outside of turn 2, but Freedom defends perfectly there to keep first place position. Well
That
done
was
to
a
the
great
Ferrari.
little battle. They both gave each other enough room. It was staunch defending for Freedom, and Rabbi was trying to attack the best he could. That DRS just wasn't enough from turn 1 down to turn 2, but well done by both of them. Great driving and a great little battle. Let's hope this continues for the next few laps.
Also, we're gonna go down to 6th place. F's Tim Shapop is gonna try and do an overtake during the chicane. Does he do it? Does he give the space? He gets the overtake. It goes up to 6th place. Amazing stuff from Tim Shapop from the safety car going all the way to the back of the grid. And now Milan is out of this race. We're gonna check to see what happened there. We're gonna be on King and David's TV pod. Let's see if we can actually see it before the stewards clear the debris. Let's see what happened here to Milan. Looks like he hit the curb and lost control and went straight into the wall. Lost his left rear actually.
That's a strange one.
Alright, we're gonna quickly go back to the front of the grid as Rabbi is still battling Freedom. Coming down turn 1, he's gonna have DRS again. And it looks like Freedom has saved up a lot of ERS where Rabbi is almost completely out. Oh, and Liam is out now. His car is covering the whole entire turn there. Both Freedom and Rabbi managed to dodge it, but that might be a safety car there just by how dangerous that spot is.
I think you might be right, yeah. And that would give that may give the medium runners an option if the safety car does come out. That may give the medium runners a chance to go out and put on the hards. And if it does come out, that could really hurt Freedom because he's not in a position to pit just yet. But so far, no safety car, which I'm surprised at, but in a way thankful for because we've already had 2.
Yeah, so it looks like the marshals actually were able to clear the car off of the track as quick as they could there. And
I will say, by the way, Richard has made up 1.5 seconds over the last 1.5 laps on Bet, so he is really hunting down that Red Bull for 3rd place and a spot on that provisional podium. So keep an eye out on that one, see how he does. Tim Shapop is also hunting him down, so it's a good one to watch Richard at the moment. He's hunting down 3rd place, but he's getting swarmed by Tim Shapop, who is extremely fast today, as he just puts in a 1:18.9 fastest lap of the race so far.
Alright, when it starts to happen, we'll have to check back with that, but right now we're sticking with the front 2 with Freedom and Rabbi. Actually, the gap is closing in with Tim Shapop He might take a move here on turn 4, I believe. He's done it before. He's done it to Cons. Will he also do it to
He's right on
Richard?
the gearbox, yeah. Richard takes the outside line, and I think Tim Shapop's got the move done. That was superb. Superb.
Amazing stuff from the Aston Martin. He's saying, "Oh, Richard, you're doing the best when it comes to having the most improved position, but I'm gonna show you how it's done in the Hungarian Grand Prix." Amazing stuff
Yeah.
from Tim Shapop. But now, looks like the battle for first is still well and truly alive, as Rabbi is actually Freedom is getting a little bit of a gap to Rabbi. It just shows the pace that Freedom has in the Formula One game.
He's super quick. I do wonder his tires will still be in fairly good condition at the front. Rabi will be slowly wearing his down. He's still got DRS at the moment. As you said, he did fall back a little bit on that lap.
Oh, Tim Shapop.
Tim Shapop.
Go ahead, mate.
No, that was it, just Tim Shapop. I thought he got past, but it's because Bet has gone into the pits to get rid of these reds, and he's going to put on the medium compound tyre, so I believe he is going for a two-stop strategy in this race.
Yep, and it looks like we had a caution in the junction between Sector 2 and Sector 3. I believe that was H. Bosworth having a little spin off of turn 11, where we recently saw, I believe it was, who was it? It was someone actually crashed straight into the wall of turn 11 there.
I didn't see what happened. I have to say, I do feel a little sorry for H. Bosworth. I hope he can fight back. He had a great qualifying session, and things just haven't gone his way on race day so far. Keep an eye on Bet as well. It'd be good to see what his pace is on those brand new mediums. He's on the freshest tyre on the track. Tier and King David both came in the pits in the last couple of laps. They put on the hards, more than likely trying to go to the end on this one.
Hold on! We might see the battle of first place diminish as Freedom is now... Rabbi is now out of DRS distance. So now he'll have to use all of his ERS to see him catch up, and he does not have DRS, and that's going to give Freedom a clear lead here. So now the closest battle right now is Cons and Bet. Bet is closing in on that Ferrari rear wing.
He definitely is. There's quite a few little battles going down the way. Flea is coming up to the back of the Pink Spartan, excuse me. Bet, as we said, keep an eye on him on those fresh mediums. He's going to try and make a move on DxT Cons down here. He didn't get great traction coming out of the last corner, but he will have DRS. He's right on the gearbox. DxT Cons moves over to defend, but Bet's already made it through by the time they get to turn 1, so it just shows you what fresh tyres can do compared to 9-lap old tyres. So keep an eye on him moving through the field. And we've also got Flea. He's still trying to attack the back of that Williams. He just can't make the move at the moment, but keep an eye on that battle. And Rabi has closed the gap again. I do wonder about his tyres through Sector 2 and 3 compared to Freedom. So see if he's in that DRS by the time they get down to turn 14.
Looks like he will be. He is close, very close to that rear wing. I think Freedom was saving his tire right now, as he actually I believe he let Rabbi in, but we'll just have to check back. But Rabbi is going to have DRS now, coming off at the end of the 15th lap. We are near the halfway point of this Hungarian Grand Prix. Rabbi might get the opportunity here in turn 1. He's going on the inside. Actually, he shoots back out, but he's probably going to wait for the second DRS zone. He has it, but I think Freedom just had a better exit off of turn 1. So that's going to keep Freedom that first place position. But we might need to see Flea. Does Flea shoot on the inside? He does! Turn 1, he's a whole car ahead of that Williams. Oh, and a little bit nudge from the Williams Pink Spartan. And now Flea also has DRS again, now ahead of the Williams. And he's going to complete that overtake and keep 6th place. Amazing stuff from Flea, amazing stuff for his AlphaTauri team.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say, and Flea just proved my point there, when you're coming off the last corner, you need to be within half a second of the car in front by the time you activate DRS to have a chance to outbrake them down into turn 1. On the last lap, Rabbi was about 0.65, and that's why he just didn't have enough. So keep an eye on that interval when he gets to the DRS line, but at the moment, he might not even get DRS.
He's
just fallen out of it.
He's just fallen out of it, yeah. So it looks like he's going to be struggling a little bit of tire wear. Let's see how old those tires are. Those mediums are 15
laps.
old. So yeah, he might be going into the pits sooner rather than later. but that's going to give people like Bet and other drivers on the younger tires a chance, and we might have to check with Bet and Joe as they're coming around turns 13 and 14. Bet is going to have DRS and he's 0.3 seconds to the AlphaTauri rear wing. Let's see if he gets the job done. He should
So
be
as
able
I
to.
said, under half a second, and you've got a good chance. He was 0.3, which is why he's now alongside that car going into turn one with a great chance of an overtake. He's going to have to go the long way round, but he will have DRS again and a better traction out of that corner. Can he do it around the outside of turn two though?
Looks like Joe is not going to let him
Oh,
go through. King's Home is keeping their side by side completely, and King's Home
I
retakes that position.
Bet seemed to yield to that corner, and I don't know why. He had every right to be there. They were alongside one another. He would have had the inside right on turn three, and he would have had that move made, but instead he backed out of it to avoid any collisions, and this means he's going to be stuck behind Joe for at least the rest of this lap. Keep an eye on them coming up to the pit straight again, though, but great battling from the pair of them, side by side. I don't think they touched. Fair racing, left room. We'll see them do it all over again on the next lap.
And we might actually
And
see it with King's Home's teammate here with Flea, as Pink Spartan is actually very close to that AlphaTauri rear wing and trying to see if he can retake his sixth place position. So this is going to be the closest battle here right now on the field.
So again, 0.4 seconds coming up to that DRS zone should give you just enough for an opportunity to get a move done, which is what's happened here again. Dies down the inside. I'd say well done to Flea for sticking around the outside, but I think that move's done. By the way, just a quick note that Rabbi has fallen over 2 seconds behind Freedom now. I think his tyres might be on their last legs.
Oh, hold on. You might want to check with King's Home and Bet again. Bet did get the overtake on turn 1, but King's Home is closing in. He's going to try around the outside and get a shotgun exit coming off of turn 3 and 4. Oh, and Flea retakes the position to Pink.
But they're going at it again, though. He's a way to lose. He did a dive bomb down the inside, which means he had to brake late and ran wide. So Flea got back through. Sorry, the Pink Spartan got back through. But yeah, this is a great battle these two are having.
It's a back and back battle here. And just by with this battle, I know with King's Home and Bet, their respect for each other during their battle in the previous laps is going to be amazing for them. And Rabbi is now coming into the pits. Let's see what it comes out on.
I would suspect he's going to come out on the hards. I don't think he would want to do a two-stop when he's this
Yep, he is
lap.
on the hards.
So he really needs to be putting in the fast lap times now. I wonder what traffic he's going to come into. I think he should have a nice gap over the Pink Spartan and out behind DxT Senna. So he's got a couple of laps to get his foot down and go as fast as he can, because what he'll want to try and do is do the undercut on Freedom when he comes into the pits, probably in the next 3 or 4 laps. So this is crucial time for Freedom and for Rabi. They both need to get their foot down and get going, and Rabi really needs to not get held up by the likes of DxT Senna. Flea is in the pits at the moment, so that battle's over with, I'm afraid. These pit stops will mix things up a bit, and then we'll see the battles continue for the rest of the race.
Definitely, but as you said just now, some of these battles might be revived later on in this Hungarian Grand Prix, as we only have about 15, 16 laps left over. And Freedom, actually Tim Shapap is actually getting pretty close to Freedom here. Of course, he is still 4.2 seconds behind, but he is still closing that gap a bit.
He is closing the gap, yeah, so this is his 15th lap on these mediums. 2 things to note though: he needs to come in the pits and put the hards on again, the opposite of what Freedom will do. And he does have a penalty at the moment, so he's got 5 seconds worth of penalties. I don't know if that'll get taken off or not, because I think that happened under the safety car, but he'll need to be keeping an eye on that.
Cons is out!
I don't know what's happened.
He's crashed off of turn 11. And I think, yeah, it was Cons during the qualifying. He has crashed on the same turn. He probably hit the curb and going straight into the wall. A huge, huge upset.
Well, the last one didn't bring out a safety car, so I don't think this should. But that's a shame. He was in a few good battles, and I don't know. Did he just drop it on his own? Do you think?
I don't know. I really have no idea. But that's gonna change everything when it comes to the Constructors Championships now, because Freedom now has to carry his Ferrari team on his back to get as many points as he can. And I'm looking through the comments right now. Mad Scottish Games. I'm pretty sure that is also Rabbi or Rabbi. I'm not too sure. He just said it's not. Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. That is I can't really understand what you're saying. Just put either an I, like the letter I, or a letter E, if it's spelled Rabbi or Rabbi. All right. We'll check back with that in a few seconds. Well, let's actually just check because right now Flea is getting pretty close to Bearded Dave as Bearded Dave goes a little bit wide off of turn 11, but looks like he regained himself there. Now the gap is a 1.1. Does Flea actually reach? Let's see
Keeping
if
an
he
eye on
reaches
this.
DRS. Ooh,
Yeah, keep an eye out.
let's see. He has DRS. He does have the DRS. He is 0.7. He was 0.7 seconds behind when that happened, and he's closing into the Bearded Dave, and he's gonna have DRS again. He's gonna shoot on the inside. Now he's gonna be on the outside when it comes to turn 2, and he gets. Does he get the position? He has a whole car ahead. All he needs to do is close the gap, and that position is his. Flea takes 8th place.
Yeah, 18 lap old mediums against 1 lap old mediums. He just had all the extra grip and he did a great job. A good little battle again. Again, I'm keeping an eye on Rabbi at the moment, who's coming round in 5th place. He is now just 20 seconds behind the leader, so I do wonder if Freedom's going to have to come in the pits soon, I think, get changed onto those mediums, but I wonder if he's going to lose out on that position. So he's going to have to seriously think about coming in soon because Rabbi is catching up quickly.
He is catching up quickly, and actually, it is confirmed. It is Rabbi.
It is Rabbi, yeah.
Yeah, it is Rabbi. Thank you for letting us know that, mate. Helps us in the commentators box for later on. But as it stands right now, Freedom still has the lead of this Hungarian Grand Prix, but he still has yet to pit as Tim Shapop is still closing the gap. He was 4.2 seconds, now he's 2.7. But as we say, as there are no battles right now, let's actually go over the penalty points. Well, not penalty points, the penalties that are on currently. And right now, both of the Aston Martins actually has penalties. Tim Shapop with 5 seconds, Tier with 6, and then we also have the 2 Alpines. Is that Alpines? No, that's the 2
Yep.
Williams.
Oh, the 2 Williams, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, the 2 Williams actually has penalties, each of them with 3 seconds of penalties. So they're gonna have to be careful if they want to keep their position. Yeah, and
We talked so much about the Alpines at the beginning, and could they have a good chance because it might have been a good omen for them here, but I think it's really gone quite badly for them. 10th and 13th after both starting in the top 5, I believe it was.
yeah, they as you just said, they both did actually start in the top 5. You were correct with that. But
So to see them both go backwards is a bit of a shame. But I'm really enjoying watching Tim Shapop put in these fast laps. Again, he's going to have to pit onto the opposite, so I wonder how he'll do in the second stint of this race. But I think Freedom's really going to have to come in soon because that's Rabbi down under 20 seconds behind him now, and I believe it's about a 20-second pit stop. So Freedom's going to have to really consider coming in soon, getting those mediums on. Otherwise, he's going to have a bit of overtaking to do if he wants to win this race.
oh, we actually might see a potential battle later on, as Rabbi is closing the gap to DxT Senna.
Yep, he's definitely closing the gap. We just have to hope the DxT Senna doesn't hold Rabbi up too much, because otherwise that could ruin a fight for the lead later on in this race, although he probably doesn't know that.
He definitely does not know that. But right now it's 0.68 seconds. 0.5 is closing in. We could see a potential overtake after turn 14 on that first DRS.
Oh, Senna! Well, that was an easy overtake in the end.
No, but the thing is, does Senna now get the DRS? He
He does, yeah.
So he could potentially retake that position as he has saved a lot of battery. Let's
He's
see
gonna
what Senna
try.
does.
No, I don't. He doesn't quite have it.
But let's see. We are in the second DRS zone now. He has a little bit of a oversteer. Yeah, but it looks like Rabbi is gonna keep that position there. Huge upset for Senna as he was probably anticipating a more let's say interesting battle between them two, but he basically just handed to him on a silver plate. And now
Yeah, he
Rabbi
did.
is in fourth place now, and now he's gonna try and close in to Richard.
Yeah, he should catch him pretty quickly with the two different tires that they're on. One thing I will say, by the way, do you think there's a chance Freedom keeps these hards going as long as he can and puts on the reds at the end?
Oh, that's definitely in in the possibility.
And the
Just
same with Tim
because
Shapop as well.
I would have to agree with you actually. Yeah, them two have done very well to preserve these tires, especially Tim Shapop after
Hmm.
those whole incidents during the safety car. But we gotta
And
do
Ri
remember. Oh, go ahead.
Richard as well, and the Pink Spartan as well, both done, sorry, and Senna, now going on to their 24th laps on these mediums. I didn't think we'd see cars go that long, but yeah, if they could put the reds on at the end, even if Rabbi does come out in first place after the pit stops, he's going to be on the hard compound tyre, whereas the likes of Freedom and Tim Shapop may be on the softs. I don't know how easily Rabbi would be able to keep them behind.
Well, we're gonna have to wait and see. As we now have 10. Actually, this is the actually we have 11 laps now. Always when it comes to the lap time is usually um that +1 because this is still they're currently still on a lap. But yeah, Rabbi is closing the gap to Richard, and now Tim is in DRS opportunity to Freedom.
You might just get it. You might just get it.
He might.
Keep
We'll
an
have to
eye.
wait and see.
He won't be close enough to make a move, but this should bring him a lot closer. He does have DRS, so he won't get to make a move on this lap, but he will get a lot closer to try and do it on the next one.
Oh, actually, we just missed it. Rabbi actually gets the overtake on Richard with those old mediums, and now Richard's gonna have a chance to battle back for that position as he now has DRS, and both of them are using their ERS. He's probably not gonna get it right now because of him not catching as much slipstream as he wanted, and King David gets a 3-second time penalty. King David, very good.
It's
He's a very good driver. He is actually my teammate on Monday. I know how good this guy can be um in the Formula 1 game, but it looks like with this track he is struggling. And I usually say this for a lot of tracks, but Hungarian is definitely one of them. They take no prisoners.
absolutely not. Those curbs will chuck you off. You run a little wide, you're going to get multiple warnings like he did and get a penalty. Coming up to the last two corners now for Freedom and Tim Shapop, and the difference is zero point 0.3 of a second. So bring us down the pit straight on this one, Justin.
I am watching this right now. Wait, hold on. Tim Shapop goes
Oh,
into
Tim
the pits.
Shapop's. Yeah, he'll get in the pits, so keep an eye out. He should go on to the reds to do these last 9 laps, and it's really surprising that Freedom's still going because he's now going to lose out. Even with just 1 lap, Tim Shapop may just be able to catch that up. Oh, but Tim's serving his penalty in the pits!
He is. But I
That's going to
still
keep
think
him
with
back.
that, he's still going to have a good opportunity in this race, even with that time penalty being served in the pits. And now that's going to give Rabbi second place, but now Freedom is going to have to close in. He's going to do everything that he can, and I believe what's going through his head right now is like, okay, Tim Shapop was just about to overtake me. He did have DRS, but he went into the pits. So now that's going to give Freedom the opportunity to stay that in position and possibly go into the pits himself right now and go on the matching colored tires of that Ferrari. And we could definitely see a battle later on.
I do worry that Freedom left it 1 lap too late, or that Tim just came in thinking, right, I can do this on the reds. So Freedom definitely going to come in on the reds. It'd be interesting to see if he comes out ahead of Rabbi or not. And we just also saw it was Richard came into the pits, and so did the Pink Spartan for fresh set of reds. And here comes Freedom into the pits.
I'll be surprised if he doesn't go with the softs.
100%.
Super surprised. Oh, but Tim is going to battle DxT Senna. He gets the position, but do you think that was a little bit too early? He could have used that DRS from DxT Senna.
He could have used that DRS, but it was important that he got past quickly. I'm surprised he managed to make the move where he did, as we see Freedom just coming up to the end of the pit lane now, so it's going to be interesting to see where he comes out. He's going to have, he's just come out ahead of Rabbi. just half a second, and Tim, that penalty, serving that penalty, he would have been ahead because he served 5 seconds and he's only 3 behind. He would have got ahead, but unfortunately that penalty cost him that. So now Tim, if he wants the lead, he's going to have to make it past Rabbi and Freedom, but Freedom should be able to pull away here from Rabbi, being on fresh reds. It'll be, I think we should see some fastest laps of the race coming in. There's no other real battles going on in the grid right now. There's a bit of a gap between most, so just keeping an eye on these front 3.
We might actually see a battle between King David and Tier near the back end. King David actually gets the job done. Looks like Tier is really struggling on those hards. I
think Tier pulled over to let him through, yeah.
Yeah, looks like
Not
Tier's
sure what
really
happened, but he's going very
now.
slow. Yeah, he's coming in the pits. Yeah, he's coming in. He might have wing damage.
Alright, well, let's see. Tim Shapop is closing on Rabbi. Is Rabbi going to go into the pits right now to not give Tim Shapop the DRS? Well, actually, Tim Shapop is pretty close to him now.
I think Rabbi's just got to stay out. He was on the hards. They're only 8 laps old. If he goes in the pits now, he would probably drop about 2 positions just to go on the same tyre. So it's maybe not worked out for him. Tim Shapop might get through, but I don't know if Tim Shapop will be able to close down Freedom because he's losing time behind Rabbi now.
Yeah, but as it just came up, Tim Shapop does have the fastest lap here. Oh, we're going to see a battle here coming into turn 2 between Rabbi and Tim Shapop. A little nudge from Rabbi to know that he is still on the inside, but Tim Shapop gets the job done. And with that, I think Freedom might be a little bit shaking in his boots, as Tim Shapop did get the fastest lap on those fresh softs. So he's definitely going to be closing in, and we should see a battle later on in this Hungarian Grand Prix, but only time will tell if that will actually happen or not.
100%. Tim Shapop, he was very fast on that, well, we say first stint, but it was basically the first stint. He was very fast, so Freedom should be a little worried now that he sees Tim Shapop in second place, and we've just got to keep an eye on that interval and how quickly it comes down, if at all.
Well, it looks like Freedom is actually still keeping that gap alive with a 3.5 second gap, now a 3.6. Well, actually, sorry, now a 3.4. My bad, a little bit of a change through the time gaps.
Up and down, but just keep an eye over the course of this next lap. Now he's in a bit of free air. Neither of them have DRS. Tim Shapop has only 6% battery left, so he's struggling on that front. But just keep an eye on that 3.4 as they cross the start-finish line. We'll see what it is about halfway through the lap and whether he's catching or not.
Alright, and also, as we have just reached the 30th lap out of 35 of this Hungarian Grand Prix, I think it's time to start talking about top 3 drivers of the day. Steve, what would be your top 3?
It's a tough one. Tim Shapop was in a little bit of trouble early on, so he fell to the back of the grid, and look at him, he's battled back. He did a great long stint on those mediums, whereas Freedom did it on the hards. So number 1 spot, I'm going to put Tim Shapop. The number 2 spot would probably go to Freedom. I know it's been a boring race for him for the most part. He's been out in front, but he really has done a good job. And for me, it would be between. I would probably put Richard in as my 3rd vote because he started in 16th. He's kept his nose out of trouble. He took those mediums for 25 laps and then put on the softs to get to the end. So if Richard can make it to the end and get 5th place after starting 16th, I think he would deserve a vote for driver of the day as well.
I'm going to have to agree with you there. I was thinking the same thing for my top 3. Of course, Rabbi has done an amazing job in the Haas, but Richard just overall has done a better job to Rabbi in my opinion. And as we were saying, it was a 3.4 at the beginning of the 30th lap, and now at the 31st, it's a 2.7 gap between Freedom and Tim Shapop. So we could definitely see a battle later on in this race. And Freedom is definitely going to be shaking in his boots a little bit as he's seeing that gap just continuously get smaller and smaller and smaller. And if Tim actually overtakes Freedom and wins this race, he is going to be almost guaranteed for driver of the day, in my opinion, because that's where my vote's going to be going.
Yeah, those 3 do deserve to be the options for driver of the day. It's tough between Tim and Richard. I can't remember why Tim ended up at the back of the grid. I know there was contact and he needed to come in, but I can't remember why. So if it wasn't his fault and it just happened, then yeah, totally deserves a driver of the day. He has caught up almost a second on this lap, so if he keeps this pace up, we will have 2 laps of Tim fighting Freedom for the lead of this race.
Well, the gap is actually staying at 2.6 now. I think Freedom has realized that he's getting pretty close, and King David has retired in the pits now. But the only thing
Uh,
now, we could see a battle between
Richard.
Richard and and Bet for a battle for fourth place here as they're going around the final turns before the DRS zone.
Yeah, Bet's on those 16 lap old mediums and Richard on 3 lap old softs. He is under that half a second as he gets to the DRS zone with better traction, so he should have a shot with DRS to get a move at the turn 1. But I think he ran out of ERS there actually. He only had about 1%, so he's going to try and do it again back down to turn 2 with good traction off this corner. We'll see. He'll probably be. Oh!
What has happened
Bet
there?
Bet just got taken out of the race.
We're gonna have to
Bet
check
just
that.
got taken out of the
Safety
race.
car! It's a safety car!
So Rabbi will be able to come in and put on. Sorry, Rabbi will be able to come in and put on soft reds, fresh reds. I think it might have been King David. I'm not sure, but somebody had moved out the way as a lapper car. Had tried to move out the way, but 2 cars were coming through. Richard and Bet ended up turning right into the path of that. Well, sorry, the lapper car moved right into the path of Bet, who just hit him and wiped both cars out of this race. Richard somehow got through unscathed. But this safety car should shake up the last couple of laps if it's not out for too long. And yeah, Rabbi should be able to go in and put the softs on. So if you're listening, go in and put those softs on. As Freedom
Yep,
also comes in the pits, but if Tim Shapop doesn't, Tim Shapop automatically
Wait,
takes the
Freedom
lead.
is going into the pits.
Yeah, I don't understand why Freedom would come. Why would you come in the pits? His tires were only 5 laps old. I don't understand that. Because you've just
actually,
given
hold
the
on.
lead to Tim Shapop.
Hold on, it could actually be pretty good, actually. Because if you think about it this way, Freedom will technically be behind Tim Shapop and will then have DRS when the safety car comes in.
You
But the
won't, though,
thing
because
is,
after the safety car, you've got to have 2 laps, so you won't have DRS at all.
that is fair, but he does also have the slipstream from Tim Shapop, and Freedom does have the pace to stay really close to the Aston Martin.
Of course. But I think track position is more valuable than fresher tyres or a bit of slipstream around here. I think we've had that a couple of times in this race. I just think Freedom's just thrown that lead away. I really do. I really think he's just thrown that lead away by Tim not pitting, which he didn't have to, and neither did Freedom. That baffles me. I don't understand that one, I'm afraid.
But now, Rabbi is going to be in a very tough position here, as Tim Shapop's teammate Tier, which is a backtracker, is now going to be in between Rabbi and Freedom now. So I think Rabbi's potential race to win this, it's over. The safety car will be coming in this lap. And as it stands right now, Tim Shapop is in the lead with Freedom right behind. Oh, this is going to be an interesting race. I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. We are almost away with the end of this Hungarian Grand Prix, but before it ends, we're going to see a huge battle between Tim Shapop and Freedom. Freedom is getting a pretty close to that Aston Martin, and so is Rabbi actually.
Yeah, the 3 of them are going to go down into turn 1. Tim Shapop under a lot of pressure, but so is Freedom as Rabbi tries to come round the outside. Freedom trying to make a move. Rabbi then dives down the inside, so he got the move done on the Ferrari. 3 wide going into turn 2. This doesn't always end well. We'll see what happens. And there's the contact that I said it doesn't always end well. The Ferrari's starting to spin round. Freedom's coming out really badly. By going in the pits, he's effectively ruined his own race. I don't understand it. He's now dropped down to 4th. Oh no, Richard, he's got back ahead of Richard, but yeah, it's now between Rabbi and Tim Shapop, I think, for the last lap lead. Tim Shapop managed to fall down, so Rabbi has moved up into 1st place after being 3rd under that safety car restart. What a restart that was, and I could see that happening down into turn 2 with them being 3 abreast, nobody wanting to back out.
Well, it looks like Rabbi is actually putting a pretty good gap, and Rabbi gets a 3-second penalty!
Oh no! Oh no! Nobody wants to win this race, they're all trying to throw it away! This is crazy! Oh, that penalty's killed him, because that penalty, as it stands right now, will drop him down to 3rd place. So Tim Shapop will get the win, and that's a penalty that can't come off because he did it all on his own. So we'll see if Freedom and Tim Shapop can have a battle, but...
Well, it looks like Freedom is going to give... He's still even though he did get a little bit of a mess up during turn 2, he is still closing in on Tim Shapop. The gap was around 1.4 and now it's 0.7. So he could still be a battle for first place with Freedom. He is not out of this race just yet. He's going to give it everything he has to get as close to that rear wing of Tim Shapop. And Tim Shapop, I think his game plan right now is just stay within the 3-second gap of Rabbi, but also stay in front of Freedom. So Tim Shapop is actually in a very tough position here. Hopefully he can get the job done.
It's going to be a tough one. It's hard to overtake before the end of this lap. I was also keeping an eye on DxT Senna. Freedom with a penalty. So that has effectively just handed the win to Tim Shapop. And Freedom, instead of managing to get second place because of that penalty from Rabbi, he will now stay in third place. I told you, nobody wants to win this race. And I know that he's about to come through to win, but keep an eye on the battle between Flea and Senna as it comes to the end of this race.
Alright. Oh, looks like Senna is going to be on the inside, and he spins! He spins!
Oh, that's a shame, and Rabbi has come through to win this race. Freedom crashed out of the last corner! I don't know if he'll get to finish, I don't think he will.
No, he did not! He did not
finish! What has he done? What has he done?
I think I was doing it in celebration, but he's done it prematurely, and now he is out of this race. But the thing is, his car is still technically past the finish line. And Senna did the same thing, but he finished. But I'm sorry, but with the stewards, we're gonna have to check with this right now. I think Freedom is still gonna have third place after this because the car is still technically past the finish line. So we're gonna have to check with the stewards after this race. But as it stands right now, Tim Shapop in the Aston Martin has won the Hungarian Grand Prix. Amazing stuff for him. Well done, man. Well done from getting a huge upset at the beginning of this race with those safety cars to make his way back up the grid and take the win. Huge, huge dedication and effort to Tim Shapop. Amazing stuff. Look at him celebrate, shake it, punch in the air in that Aston Martin. Amazing stuff, and he will be on the top of that what is it?
Podium.
Sorry, I'm run through emotions right now. What an amazing race at the end.
It was superb racing throughout, and I hope Freedom does get his third place, but I think he just ruined it for himself. Not at the very end, just with that pit stop. If he hadn't done that, I think he would have had the best chance of winning. Hats off to the guys on the podium, though. That's superb, and those are the three that I would vote right now for driver of the day. Just because Freedom, he made that big mistake by coming in the pits. It says he's finished 10th, but by coming in, it took away that driver of the day for me. So Tim Shapop, Rabbi and Richard, those are the three that I would give a vote for driver of the day today. What about you?
I'm sorry, but I'm actually still have Freedom up there. Even though what happened at the end is going to be a little bit controversial. We're going to have to talk to the stewards after this. But
yeah, I have him in 10th, yeah.
Well, we're going to still check real quick. But as it stands right now, the Hungarian Grand Prix has ended with Tim Shapop taking the win in the Aston Martin. Amazing stuff from him. Rabbi takes second. Richard gets third, Flea gets fourth, Pink Spartan gets fifth, DxT Senna gets sixth, H. Bosworth in seventh, King's Home in eighth, ninth is Bearded Dave, and right now as it stands, Freedom is in 10th with Tier in 11th, and everyone else did unfortunately get DNF'd from this race. So there they are. That's the positions that they will have, but they will not be receiving points. I hope you all have enjoyed this race. I'm gonna see if I can get a interview with Tim Shapop. The last time I asked him, he said no, but hopefully something will change now. Let's just check real quick. If it doesn't, we're gonna have to leave this on a basically on a high note. And amazing stuff, especially near the end of the race with that safety car.
Yeah, that last safety car mixed things up a lot, but I think the top three were going to pretty much be the top three throughout on that one. It would be good to get an interview with Tim Shapop. It would also be good to get an interview with Freedom just to see what his thinking was behind some of those decisions, and whether he thinks he crossed the line and should get his third place back. If not, then maybe speaking to Joe to see what he thinks about it. But overall, really good race. I really enjoyed that one. It was more exciting than I thought Hungary would be because it's not usually that exciting. So no, that was really good, and I can't wait for next week.
Definitely. I'm gonna wait to see if they would actually be in the interview before I let you guys go. But I'm trying to see if we can talk to the top three. If no one responds, Tim Shapup says yes. We will hear from the winner himself. Um, if, uh, is it okay that you can actually invite him into the party, Steve? If that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
His name is actually how it is spelled in Discord, so you can just add him into this party, and we will hear from him soon. I hope you guys are ready to hear from the race winner today, as I am. I am super hyped with this race. Amazing stuff near the end.
It really was that the safety car threw everything up a little bit. Do you have his PSN? Just to get him added?
Sure. Actually, I'll take care of that right now real quick. Sorry, guys, you will see a blue screen at the moment. But you guys will still be able to hear us. Let me just see if I can find him. Pretty sure that's how it's spelled. Yes, it is. And Rabbi. We will also hear from Rabbi. A little bit of a glitch there to the party. What was his name? It was like, Rabbi with 3 eyes and like an underscore or something. I'm gonna quickly check in the video real quick. See if I can find him. Let me just see if I can get Rabbi in here. Rabbi 3 eyes underscore 16. Any word from Richard yet?
No, I'll see if I can invite him in just now.
Yeah, it looks like we're not gonna have an interview with Richard. He has not responded just yet. We're gonna wait for Rabbi to join in, and then we will be starting with the interviews. But actually, we can start it right now. Actually, we cannot invite Rabbi because of his settings. But as it stands right now, we have the race winner, Tim Shapop in the Aston Martin. Congratulations, my friend, on the win of the Hungarian Grand Prix. How stressful were you at the end of this race?
Oh yeah, that was very stressful. At the end, I saw the two guys on the top three pitting, and I thought, the safety car is gonna do 2 laps more, so I'm gonna be fine, and just finish that race. But it was, yeah, very stressful at the beginning, at the end of the safety car, because we're side by side going into T1, and then in the left-hander, the long left-hander, we are three wide. So yeah, that couldn't be. That was a mistake from. I think it's a race incident because
Yeah.
I think Rabbi just turned a bit into me, so I can't. Yeah, and then I hit the freedom. So yeah, that was very unfortunate, but yeah, it is what it is, and
Well,
yeah,
that's just
very
racing
stressful.
at the end of the day, like you just said. But let's actually flash back a little bit to the beginning of this race. I remember at the first safety car, it was Freedom and then you, I believe. And then I blinked for 1 second, and you're all the way down to 6. Did you spin or
Yeah,
lose your
I
front
was.
wing? What happened there?
Yeah, I spun on the safety car because yeah, I want to do a cheeky little drift, but yeah, that didn't work out. So I spun and get it into the wall and have big front wing damage. So then I was at the back of the grid. So I thought maybe points, but not a win. But it worked out. So.
Well, for me, I would love to see that replay from your point of view, actually. And I actually have one question, um, one last question for you before I give it off to Steve. When it came to the qualifying with that wet weather, um, I'm gonna be honest, you did pretty well at the beginning, of course. Getting into you started in second, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, you started in second, and you were like really close to Freedom with those times, almost super identical, especially near the end of the qualifying session. When you saw the rain, how did you adapt? Like, how did you and your Aston Martin team adapt to the weather for the qualifying, and also, especially with the parc de ferme regulations, you couldn't really change that much after it was the dry conditions for the actual race. So, as a team, and what was going through your head? How did you adapt to that type of situation?
Yeah, it was a dry setup for me, and Hungarian is 11-11 wings for me, for my setup, personally. And
Someone write that down.
yeah, I just, I just in the qualifying in the wet, I just turned the differential a little bit lower, so you have less wheel spin and you don't spin and get a nice lap in the wet. And yeah, that was just basically the tactic because the race is more important than the qualification. Because in the race you get the points, and in the qualification it's just your place where you're going to be starting. So yeah.
All right, that's all the questions for me. Steve, you have any questions for our race winner today?
Yeah, you went from you did a mediums to softs in that race. Was that your plan all along, or was that because of the safety cars?
That was actually not my plan. I started on the mediums, and then it was the plan that I'm going to the hards. But then I crashed and pitted on the mediums, and I was just driving my race, and the plan was um, to go on the hards. But then Jeff came on the board radio and say like, yeah, softs is also possible on lap 26. So I thought, yeah, nice.
It wasn't very nice. It worked out very well for you.
Yeah.
Your eyes must have lit up on that last safety car when you saw Freedom go into the pits to change his tires. Did that surprise you? Because you'd not long been in the pits for those softs.
Yeah, the softs are dropping off very fast in this track. I completely forgot that. So he was going to pit at the end of the race, and then yeah, I thought, oh, the tires are not that bad. And then I looked at the tire wear, and it was like 31%. So I was a bit stressed. I was stressing because the number 4 was 31 seconds or 18 seconds or like so behind, I think. So they are gonna be in front of these people, and then Rabbi pitted as well. So that make it a bit harder because I thought Rabbi is not going to pit, stay on the hards, and then he maybe they fight a little bit, and then I can drive away and just finish the race. So yeah, that was a bit shocking. Yeah.
Well, your eyes must have lit up when you saw them both get a penalty near the end of the race. That
Oh
one
yeah.
was pretty much yours effectively after that one. But
Oh yeah.
you drove superbly, my man. Congratulations on the win. You drove a superb race. That's 2 races I've seen you do, and you are super fast. If you can just not spin it on your own under the safety car, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So thank you to that. And I believe, Justin, we also have Richard here, who got 3rd place.
Yes, we also have Richard. But to Tim Shapop, thank you so much for your time, especially after such an amazing race. Congratulations to you, and we'll hopefully see you next week. What is your race next week, actually?
Ooh, I forget that. Let me check real quick.
Is it Great Britain, maybe? No, after Great Britain.
Hungary, Italy. Oh, that's nice.
Italy. There
Ooh,
you go.
Monza.
Oh,
Haha.
that's my
Don't-
one of my best tracks.
Really?
If that's your best track, then you should drive away with no bother at the front.
Maybe we should see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope you have a good night, Tim Shapop. Thank you so much for your time with us, and good luck to you next week. And we will see you later on.
Yeah, thank you
And
guys.
have a
Thank
good
you,
one.
buddy.
Also,
Yeah, bye.
and now, Richard,
Hello,
you are here, mate.
I am.
How are you, my friend?
Very well, thank you, yourself?
Pretty good, mate. Pretty good. An amazing race today, actually. Amazing stuff.
Chaos.
Oh,
Chaos.
absolutely. How surprised were you at the end, actually, that you made it into the podiums?
Absolutely gobsmacked. Like that Ferrari, like the 3 of them went sort of side by side, and I saw the Ferrari come up worse. I saw in my mirror that he kept on going, so I saw him coming, I was like, I'm not getting involved in these 3 unnecessary, so I just sort of let him go.
Oh,
And when I came over the finish line, he was crashed, so I don't know quite what happened to him at the end.
also, hold on. Before we continue, I actually just looked at something. Rabbi just said that he can't hear you, Richard. Do you actually have your voice allowed to be shared in the party?
Yeah, if you go to the party settings, Richard, you'll be able to change it. So if you go to the party, click on the 3 lines. And then go to party settings, I think it is. More, yeah.
It's like share
party settings, I think. And
Yeah,
then it
party
should
setting.
say share voice.
It should allow your voice to be shared. Hold up, guys. To everyone watching, you will see a blue screen real quick. If you actually click on the PlayStation button and go to the actual party menu, where you see who's in the party and who you can add and stuff, you should see party settings, and then once you go into there, you should see allow your voice to be shared. If it says always allow, that will be perfect for us because then everyone that is watching.
The most inept person with technology ever.
Click on view voice chat, and it'll bring up a separate little
What
box.
is that in notifications?
No, go down to the game base. So
Right.
go to game base, click on the party you're in, which should say just gaming.
Yeah.
And when you click on the voice chat, you should see view voice party, and then if you go down to settings after that, then it'll say share your voice. No, go back out and then click on view voice party. And then click on the lines after that, and it should say allow to share your voice. There you go.
There we
That
go.
should be us now.
Right, somebody can edit all that out, can I?
Yeah.
Well, we are actually streaming this, so.
Great.
But you're fine, mate. You're fine. It always happens. Well, actually, it is is it your first time in the podium actually?
In this league it is, yes. Yeah, I'm just a reserve driver.
There we go. They can hear you now. It worked.
Brilliant.
We've done it. That's a victory in
We
our
got
books,
somewhere.
my friends. That's a victory
We
in our
got
books.
Oh man. So yeah, just when I saw that Ferrari, I was just like, oh, I'm not getting involved in those three having a tussle. I didn't want to be. I'm just a reserve, I'm not fighting for anything. I just sort of pulled over and let him go. But I was quite shocked to see him crashed on the start-finish line. I didn't quite know what happened to him there.
Well, I just spoke to him just now. Actually, he took himself out of the race because he is a reserve, and
right.
yeah, so he didn't really want to Well,
Oh, right, so should I have done that, or?
because it's still kind of upsetting because that would have given Ferrari in that league a lot of points. So even though that you're not fighting for yourself, you're still fighting for the team that you're representing.
Sure,
so
yeah.
It is still an upset, but at the end of the day, that puts you in the podium positions guaranteed.
Yep.
And we're gonna go back to that question. How surprised were you that you're in the podium today?
Honestly, absolutely gobsmacked. Absolutely gobsmacked. When that safety car came out with like 2 or 3 laps to go, I just thought, I'm done here now, because obviously I just picked up a penalty within like a lap of the safety car coming out, and I just thought this is going to bunch everything up, and I'm going to probably finish, I don't know, 5th, 6th, something like that. But then it didn't bunch the whole pack up. I saw DxT Senna, he'd pitted, and I thought, oh, I'm in trouble here now, he's going to have fresh softs behind me on the last lap. But then the safety car just like came in with like 2 laps to go, and there was only like 4 of us with the safety car at that point. So after that, I was just sort of cruising, happy to finish 4th.
What happened to you in qualifying?
I fueled the car for about 7 laps, and I just thought I'd just go out, do a lap, get a banker in, and then just sort of wind it up a little bit. And the first time I tried to wind it up, turn 1, and I was just straight into the barrier. Situation with no traction control.
My second question would be, why don't you do that in my league, where you're my teammate and you've out-qualified me in every single race? Why can't you crash out in one of those?
I don't think we've had qualifying in the rain yet, have we, Steve?
No, not yet, but I hope we do sometime soon, I can tell you that.
You'll be praying for a rain. I've done basically what you do in Air League, start at the back and finish high. The roles have been reversed.
What was your strategy at the beginning of the race, and did it change because of the safety cars?
It did, yeah. So I was going to do yellow, yellow, red. I'll just, just be a bit punchy at the end, and well, if I get to the end. And obviously, the safety car obviously just helped it. And old Jeff came on the radio and basically said, you can pit on lap 26. But Christ, 26 laps on these mediums. They were like 50% worn by the time I came into the pits. I was losing a lot of time to that DxT Senna behind me, like towards the pit stop. I had like a 3-second gap by the time we sort of coming in towards the pits. I think it was like a second, maybe if that. I saw Rabbi was behind Senna, and I was really hoping that they two were going to have a bit of a squabble. So I saw he'd obviously came in and pitted for the hards. So I was hoping they'd have a squabble and I'd be able to get it going again. But it happened a little bit, but nothing to make me feel a little bit more relaxed about it.
Yeah,
well, actually, no, you did a great job, man.
Yeah, amazing stuff from you. But actually, what happened there was Rabbi was actually closing in on Senna around turn 13, and Senna actually loses the rear end a little bit and goes a little bit wide as if he's trying to go into the pit lane. But
Right.
then that opened up the gap for Rabbi completely to go around the outside off of turn 14. But
Right.
even though with Senna having the DRS, he still couldn't match up to the pace of Rabbi. But
Yeah.
my main question for you actually is, how did you collect yourself basically? With having a huge upset during the qualifying, and then making your way back up to the pack. Of course, Tim Shapop actually happened to him during the race, but with you had a lot more time actually between the qualifying and when the race actually started. So how did you collect yourself? How did you what was your mindset basically when you were starting from near the back of the grid when it came to the starting line?
Honestly, if you knew me, you'd know how much I crash. It's quite a regular thing for me.
Happens
Oh,
quite a lot.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
So me and crashing, I'm just like, oh, it's just another one. It's just another one, But yeah, just the whole race was just crazy. I mean, I could have been out easily on, like, just leaving the grid. There was cars sideways on the grid. I had to avoid, I think it might have been a Haas, which was completely sideways. I nearly went into the wall trying to get around that. Then later on in the race, there was, is it King David and somebody with a 69 in their name?
Yeah,
Bets,
yeah.
Those two had a crash in front of me. Hell, I never crashed into those two. It was unbelievable.
So
Yeah,
I was
but-
going to ask about that. Was that
Oh,
a
yeah.
lapper car getting out the way and basically hit him?
Yeah, that's what I think. It looked to me like the Alpine moved over to the left, and me and that lad who was in front of me in the Red Bull, but I had DRS on him. I was trying to get him down into the next corner, and obviously he went to the left, but also the Alpine did, and they just had a monumental crash, and I just managed to just swerve around it. But
Well,
yeah,
actually-
I must have missed that by inches.
Well, actually, I can answer that for you guys. Actually, King David actually pitted. Well, actually retired in the pits, but the thing is, the AI actually still controlled his car and brought him out of the pits. And Bet, unfortunately,
Right.
was the aftermath of that. But my
Yeah.
main question actually was at the beginning of the race, right when it started, we saw Mr. Basil and the Alfa Romeo completely gets swept away and goes straight into the left and straight into the wall. Did you see that? Did you see what
Yeah,
happened?
I was right behind that. That's
Yeah,
the
what
incident I was on
happened
about.
then?
I didn't know if I have no idea. I didn't know whether he just lit it up off the line and went sideways. I've done that a few times. But that's what I thought. I mean, it all happened so quick in front of me. I was just sort of left, right. I just didn't know where to go. And obviously, when the first safety car came out, I was like, oh, I'm 12th or 11th. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, and then it just sort of proceeded on from there. Really, just trying to stay out of trouble as best I could, and made a few overtakes on some people.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
Hopefully,
with that information,
hopefully
I
you've
know.
learned some stuff for Wednesdays, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll be crashed in the first 5 laps tomorrow. As well.
He's my teammate, Justin. I need him to start finishing races.
Yeah, but Justin, ask him what the qualifying ratio is.
Don't bother.
No, but the thing is, no, I do see your point because like with me, when it comes to with this league, I am completely shite. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna try and move around it or anything like that. I am utter trash when I come into racing. Like when it comes to qualifying, I am like normally mid at the pack. I'll be super surprised if I'm up top, and that's what happened with Portugal, which is surprising because that map actually just came out when it happened. And Portugal was like the only race that I was actually good. And when it came to like other races, especially yesterday, I got DNF'd. Like I got not DNF'd, I got disqualified from the race. And that's just how my races have been going. And I remember saying before, I was so fed up that if this just keeps up, I'm just going to be doing commentating. But of course, that's not Formula 1. Like most commentators, when it comes to different sports, you actually try the sport out, and then you make that decision. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
there's
Maybe
still
we should do that with you,
plenty-
Richard.
What's that?
Maybe we should just get you commentating instead,
Get
because
on
you don't
with
finish
you.
enough. You don't finish enough races. Should get you in the booth as well.
I'm just there to beat you in quali, mate. As long as I can beat you in quali, I feel like I've done something. I've achieved something with my life.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I have no other questions for you. Does Steve, you have any others, or should we send it off?
No. My last question would be that seemed like quite good fun. Would you do it again with this league?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, like I'm just a reserve driver, so I just try to stay. If I know people are battling for like championships, or they're high up in the championship standings, I don't want to be getting involved in any of their races. I know that lad in the Aston Martin. He obviously had was it Tim?
Tim
Like he
Yep.
was
Shipov.
flying behind me, and I was just watching the like Delta to him, and I knew he was coming, and I was just like, I'm not making this. I'm not going to like try and defend any of this. I'm not here to sort of ruin other people's sort of races or nothing. Just get out of their way and just run my own race sort of thing. Where I finish, as long as I finish.
No,
Well,
you
that's
did
very
great, mate. Well
sportsmanlike of
done.
you. That's very sportsmanlike
Thank
of
you very
you.
much.
And also, congratulations on your podium position.
Thank you
Starting
very
from
much.
near the back of the grid.
Yeah,
I hope
16th
you
to 3rd, I'll
enjoyed
take
yourself.
that.
Yeah, exactly. I hope you have enjoyed yourself in this league.
I did.
Do you have any questions for anyone that are watching actually, or do you want any final send-offs?
No, I'm good. I just enjoyed it. Good racing. Had a couple of good battles with everybody. Senna kept me on my toes most of the race. And I'm quite glad that safety car buggered off quite early, because I think I'd have been in trouble with him.
That's fair.
So yeah, it was good.
All
It
right.
was good.
Well, that it is from the commentators box. Well, for me, it is. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Steve, for being my co-commentator today. Usually it would be Taylor McKenzie, but some altercation happened where he actually left the league. But hope to have you again. Again, Steve. Very much fun.
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back next week if you want me.
All right, sounds good. And when it comes to Tuesday night racing, we were actually just saying it with Tim Shipop. The next race will be in Italy, so make sure you have liked this video if you enjoyed it. Make sure you have the subscribe and the bell completely on for all notifications, so you know exactly when there will be a race. And also, please check out the Pointless Point podcast hosted by Joe and myself, where we talk about different topics around the actual real life Formula One scenario. And you can see that on both this channel, DxT, Limitless DxT coverage, and you'll also be able to see it on Spotify, the same name, Pointless Point Podcast, and also on the Apple podcasting app. It is a goodbye from me,
Goodbye from me, yeah.
and we will see you next week, Tuesday, in Italy.